Welcome to the scene, it's your host TTP. We're flying high in the crypto sky, you and me. From Bitcoin rush to Ethereum, we traded all the coins with the trading parity, making that joyful noise. We got bots, we got plots, charts on the big screen. 3 comments to Wick Hunter with a trading machine. Laughing all the way to the bank, it's a fun parade. With every trade we made, watch how we get paid. TTP's got the formula, flipping coins like a spatula. In the crypto game with the vernacular, spectacular. From the morning to the night, we're streaming with the light, drunk and trading peril. We'll teach you how to fight. Dive into the charts, the RSI, liquidity at a glance, trends on the rise. We never leave it up to chance. All trading Ganium, tools of the champion breed. With AI and math, we're planting the money seed. Laugh with us, trade with us, ain't no looking back. You're with the parrot now, leading the pack. Alpha profits, snap plus with the crypto law. TTP's on the mic and he's ready to soar. TTP's on the mic and he's ready to soar. TTP's got the formula, flipping coins like a spatula. In the crypto game with the vernacular, spectacular. From the morning to the night, we're streaming with the light. Join the trading peril. We'll teach you how to fight. Dive into the charts.
Hello guys, welcome to the Train Parrot. I hope you can hear me well. I hope I'm gonna do well today because I have so many issues in my throat. Bitcoin went to 86.9 and we seem to be challenging even that level at the moment. I'm gonna share with you some time-sensitive information on the 4-hour, daily, and even on the weekly in the first part of this video. Then following with a Q&A where you guys can give me your ideas of coins that you want me to do TA, and I hope I survive for that, the full hour. If not, I'm gonna just cut it short, but I'll let you know. So far, I can speak, and I'm gonna try to say what I need to say and not to talk too much. So this particular live stream is gonna be a little bit more calm down, hopefully, so I can survive for the rest of it. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me well, if all the good, loud and clear. Perfect. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Tom. I'm gonna just remove the comments from the way so you can see the actual charts. Let's get started with a little bit of thoughts and ideas. So I was thinking before starting the live stream that we are having this crash, but at the same time, we are seeing a reversal in the liquidity. Liquidity, macroeconomy, liquidity in crypto, and all of these things are leading indicators, but they are delayed. Okay, so for example, if you see the M2 pumping or breaking out from a structure like this and seeing this move, and you see at the same time Bitcoin moving down, in my opinion, humble opinion, not financial advice, that makes me bullish. Okay, and it makes me want to fish for an opportunity for a reversal. And during the stream, in the first part, I'm gonna chase that opportunity, and I'm gonna try to be quick because on the 4-hour we are in a hot area that I don't want you to miss. I already sent a very short article with an entry I did just a few minutes ago to everybody on Patreon, so you know what I'm doing already, but I'm gonna say it publicly here, and I'm gonna explain and expand why I'm entering at these levels. So liquidity is out of the way. We know it's increasing slowly, steadily. As so far, I don't see that the liquidity wants to actually fake us out and do something like we did in 2022, where we had a double bottom, but then still we reduced the liquidity. And that was really hurting the market, and we continue into bear market thanks to that. But when we get a bottom information and it continues up, let's say we take the 108 in here in liquidity index, that it should be positive. And I'm not saying today, not in the next hour, but I should be now focused on entering the market since I got kicked out of the market after Bybit. And now I'm re-entering. And last night I didn't have my exchange set up. Today I went to the doctor. I put 2 videos and I tried to get my exchange up and running. And now that I'm seeing that the price, well, now it's at my entry price, 87.1. That is my current entry price. and I couldn't get at 92.5. So the volume, I didn't enter at 92.5. I just delay it and now entering at a better position. Yes, someone wrote, lucky for you. Well, if I had the exchange ready last night, I will have entered at 92.5. That was my original plan. And by now, I will be adding less. So now I'm adding more. Let's look at this. I want to review what happened with the aggregated open interest when you get a major um, liquidation. Of course, the open interest always has something to say. Remember on the 22nd of February that I say that the signal didn't do something great, that it invalidated big the potential for copying what we were doing in August. I remember I also say I'm not going to bring it back because unless I see a reversal. When we did this week to the downside, breaking the support of 29.5, my thoughts were, okay, this is no longer valid. The price is just there at the same low, but the open interest has flashed once again the support. And that is not something that we did in here. In here, we came to the support just to test it. And we did it successfully, and we bounced back up, and we did pretty much an 80 or 100% from there, from 49. And instead, in here, we broke it, we tested as resistance, and then we put a low. So pretty much on the 22nd of February, this signal was already saying, no, it's from the other end this time. I didn't say it. I thought it was just invalidated, but now I see it more clear and totally honest. I feel like that is what it's saying, unless in this daily candle we revert the whole thing. So far, this is pointing down for the day, and it's high likely it's going to stay there. I don't know because it's a candle in progress, but it's high likely. We are minus 13% in February, and that is pretty low relative to the performance of February. If you look below, the average is plus 13.44, and we are at minus 13. We are lower than 2020, which is in the middle of COVID, and we are not as bad as 2014, but that is more than 10 years ago. The hash ribbon, the hash rate has come down to 711 million, and that is very, very low relative to this uptrend that we see in here. So that is from the highs of 999 million. Okay, so 25%, can we say? We are 25%, 27% down in the hash rate, and that is in the context of a capitulation. That means that we still cannot even talk about a recovery. Usually you get the capitulation, then you get the recovery, and then you get the buy signal. Buy signal needs, in my opinion, as far as I understand, the hash ribbon prints a buy when the price starts coming back up. I might be wrong, but I remember it like that. And with the price coming down, that means that the buy is not yet to come. And here is the time sensitive information on the 4 hour. That's why I'm trying to rush. Yeah, look at this chart. Look at the tests that we do on the 4 hour around this channel down. We did this on October 23rd. Then we went to 25. Then we went to 19. And a few days ago, I was talking that if we lose this support in here, that we could be heading to 17. Now we are 16.44. That's the 4 hour. So I took that entry right there after having gone beyond the statistics on the 4 hour and being at this support that spans pretty long back in time on the 4 hour time frame. So this is how many candles back, and it's respecting this 751 candles back in time that we are respecting that line. So I'm betting on that. I'm betting on that, not just on this isolated. So it's wait for the live stream because I'm going to develop the idea with other things that are making me bullish about 87 and 100. And I'm happy if it breaks below, okay? If we go to 85, this video age long, no, I have cash there, right there, waiting for that in case. I just don't want to miss this chance that looks promising, okay? Let's call it like that. We lost the daily, and we are below the 91. Of course, we are at 86.77. I think 86.6 is the lowest at the moment on the daily. Let me see on the RSI. So the RSI has broken below the PNR, the percentile, has broken below the global support at 31, now sitting at 27. And that is a support that was held since August. Okay, so look at the previous time when we do something like this. You hold a support 1, 2, 3. You break below the PNR, you break below the global support that you hold multiple times, 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times broken. Isn't that a great entry? Yeah, most of the time. Do you prefer to be buying at 95, 105, taking a long there, or taking a long when you do this? I prefer when we do this. How long, how much can it go lower? I don't know. But do I still prefer to buy there? Yes, I prefer to buy there. Okay. And it might get rebought, it might recover by the end of the day. This is a daily candle. We had this drawing in here saying, well, if we don't manage to break out and go into the global resistance, we might as well go and do that reset on the daily. So we got reset on the daily, reset on the 4 hour, and we're in the middle of a capitulation, and we are now testing the bull market support band. And I say there is a chance that we don't fulfill the target of the technical target on the weekly, which is 80.3. So if we get there, then my next move is to add more, right? Eventually, this thing is going to bounce back up. We have 1 million in liquidations that I'm going to show you later. We have fair value gaps and a lot of things. So there has to be somewhere in here a dead cat bounce. Can we go to the CME gap and take it at 78? Sure. If we go there, I'm going to add. I'm ready for that. I'm not using all my capital. Someone was saying, can you be more precise in terms of capital? And that is a tough one because it depends as well on your plans or on your personal plans. And if you don't have that context, what is the point that if I tell you I'm using 10% of my capital, then you're going to ask me, what are you doing with the rest of the 90%? Well, I'm planning to do other things. And based on that context, I think that is enough exposure for me at this point, 10%. And then if I need to add more, at 20%. And that will put me at 30. Okay. But what are you doing with the 60? Sorry, 30, 20, 30. What's my math going on? It's supposed to be just an issue with the cough, and now I cannot even do math. So I have a 70% that I have spread already in my personal context on other altcoins that are bleeding, Ethereum, for example, and other ones. And I want to leave as well for a Solana next to 100 now and stuff like that. Some things are changing. Let's talk about altcoins later. But yeah, that's my context. If you want a percentage, let's call it 10 or less, okay? We got a stochastic RSI on the weekly that even at these lows could be producing still next week a bullish cross from the lows. We got an RSI on the weekly that I had to place this new line. Say hello to this new line. It didn't exist before. It was here, and before the live stream, I placed it there because we lost this, we went up, we came back down. So I'm monitoring if we go to 49 weekly RSI, and that is at the price of 85,477. Is there anything interesting there? Yes, there is liquidity. So, I'm buying an 87 and we could be going maybe to 85. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to add at 85 after having entered at 87, by the way, okay? It is interesting, but if you put an order at 85, you can brag to me that you have a better order than me if we get there. If we don't get there, then I'm going to brag to you that you're still sitting on your hands. So, it's always kind of a game. You can not always win 100% and have always the most elegant entry. That's impossible. And on the yearly, we have a red candle. I don't know how many of you are thinking about that. I continue to think about that. And let's see, what is this? This is CME. I don't care about CME. On the monthly, engulfing red candle, ugly. Yes, people selling at a loss continues. Notice this thing. Notice Ethereum versus BTC. Somehow there seems to be more panic sellers on BTC versus Ethereum today. And all this week, this is going up on Ethereum with the price coming down, but they are not selling in as much panic as BTC. I don't know if you've noticed that a few days ago over the weekend, Bitcoin was minus 0.5, minus something like that, and Ethereum was 2.8 up. I think it was Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember. And on the monthly, we're also about to approach monthly support. That is at 61. Notice that we are exiting from 70 in a very aggressive way just 3 days before the month end. So that's another to keep in mind. The bear cross on the monthly, starting to look really ugly in here. Of course, we need to wait for March for that close. 101.5 is where we need to go to prevent that bearish cross. If we confirm it, it's going to be tough because we are going to have to reshape our targets to the upside with the position I'm building now. And if we have a big crash down, I'm going to have to average down with a lower price and with a lot more, maybe a bit more of a liquidity. So when we get that bounce back up, potentially just a death cut bounce, I don't know yet. Okay. I don't know everything. If we get that death cut bounce, then I exit or I reduce if I see weakness. There's a lot of time sensitive decisions. It's not like I have all the future mapped in my brain static and I'm not going to change it because it will be silly just to do that. There are some plans that I keep and I keep static, and that's the plan, and nothing changes it. But certain parameters, like breaking certain levels of structure, definitely must change your targets and things. When you break structure, yeah, of course. If we don't break structure, I stick to the plan, and I'm very, very disciplined on that. Hopefully, you can mimic the good things. Deposits versus withdrawals, I don't see much going on in there. Let's see if we already took the short-term holder realized price. We are right there testing it. That is at, well, no. That's 92.8. This hasn't been updated. And many people say that the sell-off is coming from the ETFs on spot. I disagree because I feel like this depression there is just as pronounced as the one that we have in here, and not necessarily every time we went to those levels, we have this level of sell-off. We're 21%, guys. Okay, let's not make such a big deal. It's 21% in previous cycles. At this point, we were having 30%. So yes, we got spoiled with the ETFs and with all that less volatility and a lot more caution coming from the institutions, and we're kind of getting spoiled. We became kind of a drama queen now with a 20%. But really, really, I mean, around this time, 4 years ago, I was stomaching a 55%. And I remember in a single day, I lost like 100K. I was like, wow, uh, that that was close to a salary, in a single day gone. Extreme fear, 25%. We need to be looking for longs. That's what I'm doing. We're at 86.3, so I'm underwater. And if we go to the next levels, I need to place my next orders. Let's see what are the long-term holders doing in here. That is also interesting. I hope this is updated. Unfortunately, it doesn't show the date like in Glassnode. They're not moving anything. They're not doing anything. Short-term liquidation, all gone. We took the 92.5, we took the 88, and we are just hovering around 86.5. Let's see this lower level. What is it doing to the RSI? The RSI 4 hour is still there. is right at the spot of 1644. I bought when RSI was 17, now it's 1644, and the price has moved slightly lower, 1K, but the RSI hasn't. It's just stick there to that entry. And I might need to add, if in the stream we continue to go lower, if I see a great opportunity, well, I will let you know if I need to do something. By the way, if we crash to 80, and I'm talking about altcoins later in the stream, make sure that you're loud in the comments there so I see your comments passing by and I react to them. Let me see. Where do I have the comments? I think I have the comments in here. Now I can see your comments. Perfect. Just make sure that you get loud if we crash a lot more. Long-term liquidity, we are about to complete the first chunk of yellow. Okay. That is the biggest chunk. That was the biggest chunk of long-term. Well, unless we go to 68, then you get something similar. 68 is a lot lower. And if we want to carry on slightly more, we can get to 84.3. But here is where you start playing with fire, okay? If you're still sitting on your hands and you really want to wait, no, I'm going to wait for this line here at 78. I mean, you're welcome to do it. But if we don't go there, don't cry that later you need to buy above 90 again. That's kind of the game. It's impossible to perfectly time. Liquidations last 30 days is a party of liquidations to the upside, a big pronounced increase in the cumulative that is bullish for at some point getting that dead cat bounce. We have liquidated 1.5 billion, and I'm gonna refresh this one because this on CryptoQuant gives loads of hints about local bottoms, and I'm doing all of this live. We get a new low in the drawdown, open interest. I don't get any alpha in here, nothing. But I'm gonna proceed to the next alpha, which is this one. Okay, surgery. We got a bunch of signals. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be painless. So whatever decision you take, uh, you might regret it, and it's not my fault. You take your own decisions. I take mine. I cry mine. You cry yours. Deal? Let's go. Okay. We have big leverage in here. So that is 1 point against. We got funding rates in the negative. Point forward to enter here. Okay. When you get the funding rates in the negative, that part there bounce. This one in here carry on a little bit more, and then it got very red, and then it bounced. Okay, fair enough. This one was in the red and it had an upside. Sure, great. This one may or may not, but it's a good one. Okay, if we overlap it with other things. What else have we got? Extreme fear. Don't underestimate it. Extreme fear, bull market. Even if it's the end of it, extreme fear, the first extreme fear leads to a dead cat bounce. Then, next one, loads of longs, more than ever since, I don't know. Let's go back in time. Here in October 2024, there was 68. Now we are at 74, almost 75. That's higher than anything in this last leg up out of the megaphone pattern in 2024, the most longs ever. And bidding, it's at 0.2. It's not the best bidding, but now it's pointing 0.22 and it's flickering. Okay, it's giving good readings. It's not bad. That's why it's showing this green in here. The previous green was enough to push the price from 90 to 92.4. This one may do that, may do better. Impossible to tell, but overlapping it with other things is starting to look good. Let's see the delta. The delta in this morning was 1 million. It has gone even to 109, almost 10% more. Now it's at 102. Let's refresh in case we get more. Now we got 108, 1 0.08 million in liquidations to the upside. Let's look at the order book. This is not updating here. Let me do it in here. I'll bring it back in a second. It's uploading there. In the meantime, let's go with the fair value gaps. I'll bring back, that's still loading there. We got fair value gaps. We are very close to the 85. Okay. This is a point against because it's the first chunky, fat fair value gap on the lower end. And if you enter in here, this is a time capsule. You move very fast throughout this area and you tend to repeat the same speed when you enter those areas. So if we enter 85, we could have a very fast move into 81. It's a 4K fair value gap. Hopefully we don't need to. If we enter there, pretty much guarantee that we fulfill the weekly technical target of 80. If we started bouncing here, we have fair value gaps, but they are all above 90 now. 91, 95. This one starts from 89,975. A point forward is that we have this 95. So that could be an area to take some profits. If you enter at 87, we could reduce there in case we saw a rejection from this range that was previous support. Remember, it was 94.8, if I remember right. So very close to 95. That was support for all those days. So if Bitcoin wants to confirm this breakdown with a retest, that's a rally to here. And you could unload a bit, de-risk there, and then let it collapse again and add more lower to de-risk. Or if we just slice the whole thing and carry on up, then there's no point to reducing. We could see a V recovery there. Okay, I'm gonna do general markets too, and let's bring, sometimes I call it fart charts, but it's fire charts anyways. We have some buying pressure here at 85. Let's do this in the monthly to see it magnified. Let's reduce the percentile so we can see it more clear. And how much liquidity is this? 88 million, okay, at the price of 86. I enter at 87. I had to enter. I didn't want to miss that before jumping into the live stream. And for me, 1K, I don't care, So this one is 84.75. That is 77 million. So we have 77 million followed by 90 million. And it's right there waiting at 85. People want to buy that. Let's see if different whales are doing anything. At the moment, the brown ones are waking up. Oh my God. This is the button to the zoom. Okay. Purples are still in the selling. They are not interested in buying yet, but the brown ones, which are the largest ones, not necessarily the ones that define the direction, the next direction, are currently entering slowly. Okay, those are the 1 million to 10 million. And resistance, we have at the 100K. I want to see if at 95 there's anything in the way, but it's very, very thin, the order book going up. We have 6 million, 13, 12. It's just peanuts going up. And it increases to 35 at 99, then 45 at 100. Not much resistance from selling in here. Either they don't think the price is going to go there to short it from there, or maybe we are going to make it very easy to go there. I don't know. And one more look in here at how the bid is doing. 22. So they are there at 86 now, trying to enter at lower levels. Remember, the bid is limit orders below the price. All right. So I think I am done with everything to do with Bitcoin so far. That wasn't that long. It was half an hour. I'm going to read your questions. And if you have any questions about Bitcoin, maybe we can cover that first. Please do TA of Mantra. I'm going to leave the alts for a little bit later, just in case anyone wants to know anything about Bitcoin. We have lots of liquidations at 90. Bull market is over. Salvador is saying, I'll stay here. I like Parrot's one-liners. Hello, Mariano. BTC seems heading to 80K, waiting for your insights. Davide, I don't think 80K is impossible to reach, okay? And a proof of that is that I'm leaving cash on the side in case we go there. And if we go to 80, it's very likely that we also take the CME gap at 78K. It could happen. Things are developing very quickly, and I'm taking the measurements of being more cautious in here uh, until we see clear signals. Like, I'm entering in here because of this signal of the 4 hour, but this is a signal on the 4 hour. So context 4 hour. I'm trading the 4 hour. The one day has pinched this, but hasn't given any idea whatsoever of reversal. I just want exposure in here because I see that halfway the technical target of 80K, there could be a potential miracle, and I don't want to miss it. Okay. I just want some exposure in here. Remember that I couldn't enter at 92. So this is still good for me. And then if we go to 80, I add more. If we start bouncing back up tomorrow, I'll make the most bragging thumbnail in all crypto saying that I managed to enter 1K next to the bottom. I will do it, definitely. I will brag if I get there because it takes balls to buy something like this at this point in time. I'm pretty sure that half the people that are in the live stream at the moment are shaking. I am not shaking, by the way. I'm not. But what is this stochastic RSI monthly bear cross? You are not scared. You are not scared. Um, it is scary. It could spell the end of the bull market, or at least the highest momentum that we're going to see in the bull market, because it was above 70. And remember that if it retraces, let's say it retraces to 60, or let's say it breaks the support and it goes to 50, then a move up into resistance could potentially put an all-time high. And that is the mysteries of the RSI. That's how RSI works. And that's why I plan against both scenarios. I plan my entry is based on the scenario that we bounce from here and we go to an all-time high. And my plan is also if we break and we go to the CME gap and I need to add there and we go lower in the target, immediate target. So I cover both scenarios. I design that based on that. Do you see BTC crashing all the way down to 72K? 72K, okay, let's talk about that CME gap. In my mind, is 78K, and now you're making me worry that I'm telling people the wrong things. Where is CME? CME is here. Let's refresh this. And let's go back in time. Let's use the 4 hour. Okay, so I'm right. There is a CME between a gap between 77,580 and 81,270. That is priced in CME, but on Binance, that is from 76.8 to, who knows, 79, let's say. Then we have another CME at 54K, and we have one at 20. So we have three, as far as I remember. This one there, we took it. Those are all the CME gaps that we currently have. I don't I don't remember seeing anything at 72. I don't think we have. I think that's a mistake. What leverage are you using? Are you using usually for your longs? If I was trading in 2022, exiting from the bear market, I will probably go with 10x. At the moment, I'm using 2x, but that doesn't tell you anything. In fact, what you should be asking is how much of my cash I'm using. So if I tell you a 10%, then you can do that 10% with spot, or you can do that 10% and achieve it thanks to leverage and leave some USDT out of the exchange and use the leverage just literally to reduce your risk of exchanges going bankrupt and stuff like that. Yes, Jose, hit the like, guys. write down comments, all of that really helps. I enter at 92.5. I am not sorry. If I enter at 92.5, I will be in the same position. I will just have entered with less then and now with more. And my average will be around the same. Maybe I'm slightly better now because my average is now 87. But if I enter at 92.5, I will have had to deploy a bit more, but push back down the average to around the same. And maybe wait a bit longer because I will have had to do a bit more work. So to be fully fair, there's a little bit more work. Yeah, to be fully honest. But still, I will aim to get myself at the same level of risk, at the same average, ideally. Uh, and that is, it's not something I could have fixed because I went to sleep thinking that tomorrow we were not going to hit these lows again. Full honesty, I thought that we were going to eventually hit 88 because of that extra liquidity, and I was leaving the cash for that, but I wasn't expecting it to happen the day after, and that's the part I missed, the timing, I guess. Global buy signal. I don't know what's the context. Do you generally enter spot or margin? I enter with futures, and today I decided to go with Binance. And I went with Binance futures USDT because um, OKX has a slightly higher fee for me. On Binance, I have a very good deal, so I went with that one. Curious to see how low will go. I'm also curious about that. That shooting star was the warming that nobody wanted to believe, potentially. And also the RSI and many other signals as well. But we never had just bearish signals, okay? We have a shooting star, but we have also the liquidity. And never say never in regards to a reversal, because many people in here are just going to drop the towel, close all positions, and say, okay, I'm done, I cannot tolerate this panic and all these things. Fair enough, they're going to close. And if too many of those people do that, it's going to become too good to be true for market maker to then reverse and go to the highs. And those events create the most hated rallies, and they exist more than you think. Okay, that's the problem. In 2021, in the middle of the year, they waited until everybody threw the towel at 28, and then they reversed to 69, and people were hating that. It was horrible. The people in the comments on the videos were really, really full of hate after seeing that Bitcoin was already back to 50 and then to 60. Just think all the bad news compound causing situation. I'm sure things will turn around since the prices is also great at the moment. I'm getting 67K at the next daily support. Well, that's very low. 70, 80 in my opinion. Cool bounce on the 200 SMA at 81K. That is the technical target of the double top at the moment on the weekly. And I think Sailor says you need to pick up a second job so you can buy more BTC. I think he's drunk. I think Sailor bought yesterday, or maybe he's buying today. I'm not fully sure, but all I know is that wherever he buys, then the price corrects. It's almost like it's perfectly timed. Trading Parrot, there is a market maker liquidation down at 75.80K. And that's possible. That is, I have a big one in here from 67 to 69. There is one at 78. Here is the peak, right there at 78. I don't know where you're getting the 75. Well, you gave a range between 75 and 80. That's my number 2 in the chart that you're seeing at the moment. I didn't think they will come to collect this. Oh, that monthly chart is not great. Right, Ethereum holders. Something I'm noticing, no one is asking for alts. I think I've seen just 2 or 3 people asking, but I'm still gonna go through them very quickly before I run out of time and voice. Let's go in here Right, this is Aptos, but this is not my chart. I need to go to alts. There you go. Let's start with Ethereum, which we are definitely now in the area of there's no way back. I call it like that. And we are still within the falling wedge in there. I was hoping we were going to hold the 2.6. And you know my situation. I'm already holding a lot of Ethereum. So coming back into this support of the falling wedge for me means nothing. I'm not going to add. Or even if we go to the 2K where we have that big liquidation on Ethereum, if you haven't seen that, watch my previous Bitcoin mixed with altcoins video I put up last night. That is talking about the 2K. That could be a very interesting buy. Um, let's see how things are looking in here. So this is looking like Ethereum. If we close the week like this on Ethereum, this will be a fake out, unfortunately. Very annoying, very, very, very annoying. Solana, well, it lost the 46 already Sunday, so it was calling for this bleeding. Solana has been performing really bad, and now it's at the 136. It crossed all the way into the final line in the sand. It's been at 132. My final support is 129, and there are some liquidations that are in this area in here. And remember, I talk about the liquidations at 150 to 160. Uh, then there are the liquidations in here. Based on the move of Bitcoin, I'm holding off in here with Solana because Solana can always exaggerate a bit more things. And I think I've been right. I haven't sent anything to Patreon saying I'm buying Solana. So there is nothing I need to delete like other people do. When they make fuck ups, they delete their tweets. I have never done such a thing. I'm not. I'm interested in 150. I was. Bitcoin started correcting, and I started pulling up my hands and feeling a bit. Let's see how things developing here. And if I buy, I'm gonna put it publicly on Twitter, of course, and it's gonna stay there. So you're welcome to take screenshots. 137 is support on this trend line. 128 is support on the horizontal, and the liquidation next leftover of liquidations, which was not as big as 150, is between 120 and 100. So hopefully, crossing fingers for the price to do one of the recipes I like, which is to swipe this area and then regain it. So take all the 100, take it, and then come back up. That will be an extraordinary bullish signal, particularly coming back from all this bleeding so many days in the red and the news that are coming up in March that are bearish. Once those news are out of the way, if we get a regain above in there, that will be a really golden entry. And let's look at some other top market cap before we go into requests, because people are gonna start asking for low caps and stuff like that. So this breakout at the level of 134, I don't remember why I say that, but I call there for caution. And I think I did it because of the extreme level of longs. I left something here. So that tells me that I was calling for this to retrace. I say that in a video. I remember I have chicken memory at the moment. And unfortunately, LTC on the weekly is breaking below the weekly support. So it's below that at 54. And the previous week, I think we closed right there. Previous week, 17. Okay, so we close above the support. And this week, we are retracing this way below. So it's the first time we are below support just this Tuesday. And this could get bought up and then reclaim 57 and then carry on. But I will call for caution for as long as we are below that support on the weekly on LTC, particularly because it's back there to the support of the breakout. So this could still be called, if Bitcoin recovers and does a rally above 90, maybe LTC can have here another rally, as long as if we don't break the structure in here. And you can easily break the structure if you re-enter below 111 and you stay there on a weekly basis. I think some people were asking me for AVAX and someone was asking for SUI. They were desperate for that. AVAX continues here just in the falling wedge. There is no breakout. We just lost 24. Next level of support. Well, we are at support at the moment. Let me put a line here. That is support based on this resistance there, support, support, and support. So we have support right there at $20. If we lose that, just like it did in these areas in there, we can easily do a journey into around $15, 15.5. So I will be interested in those areas, but I will have to go and see if we can get liquidations on AVAX in here. Not in the long term, in the short term, maybe. Yes, great. This is too light. There you go. So we are in AVAX. Let's remove the past. Let's remove liquidations on the upside, and let's see if we have something below left over. Just focusing on the lower end. There is not much to go lower. That's pretty cool. So there is just that 20 from people that just enter there. And it's kind of forming a double bottom there at 20. So this could be a great area of support to consider. The liquidations to the top, there is a whole party. And it goes extreme at $27. I might as well add a little bit of AVAX after the stream. And if I do, I'll confirm it on Patreon and publicly as well. Let's go back to doing TA and let's do. No, let's continue with AVAX. Let's do a little bit more on AVAX. On AVAX, I want to do the RSI. RSI, okay. This line is not perfectly there. It should be at 38, and we are right there at the weekly support. So I think it is definitely not guaranteed that 38, 39 is going to hold, but we are in a much, much, much better position than anywhere else in all this range. Being a correction from 87 and then coming back to this support at 38, it's a great area to add. You still have some downside, but I see it this way. There's less downside than upside. So, I'm more happy to enter in here than anywhere else. Let's see how the longs are. Wow, that's an opportunity for AVAX. So it has crushed the longs, and we're very close to that statistic level there. I left a circle, probably saying if we get there, let's keep an eye. So AVAX is pretty interesting here. There can be more drawdown, okay? Don't go out, don't go away from the live stream and buy AVAX and then see an additional 15% and then say that it was a wrong call, because it's a 15%. Okay, it's a 15. There's no comparison with entering here, which I bet there is a ton of people in here that enter at the highs, thinking that we're gonna go and do a new all-time high on AVAX, and now they are 75% down from March last year in a bull market. So don't cry with 15% additional down. Just embrace it. Let's do SUI. And yes, SUI is just repeating the same thing that we did after March. It's having rejections on the volume weighted moving average weekly. That's the blue line in there. And I was hoping to get a rally into the resistance with this hypothetical channel, which I'm assuming thanks to these two touches there. And I was saying that that can take us into 3.8. Now we are in 2.8. So this is not playing out. This pivot there is being taken now with a new pivot low. And we have taken out loads of longs. I think just looking at the history of this, you can tell that after there is a rally, it takes, in here we took a retracement of 13% of longs. In here we crushed 25% of longs. And in here, 60%. I will say that we need to be careful with SUI. Yeah, definitely. Because this, guys, this move in here, if this proves to be just the dead cat bounce, it can extend longer. And I'm a bit scared of the fair value gaps I see here. So we have now probably a fair value gap starting from 2.7 or 2.8 to 2.4. But we already feel it. Sorry. We already feel that fair value gap. But we're putting a low. So we need to wait for this thing. Because by the end of the week, if this gets bought up, then if that allows the $3 to be the actual lowest closing price, then we can still have a rally into the top of the channel. But if we close the week like this, we are putting a new low, which increases the chances of carry on to next levels of support. The next one being around $2. So it's in a mixed bag at the moment, SUI. There's no clear direction, unfortunately. I'm gonna look at the comments and I'm gonna see the latest comments because there's too many comments. BTC seems to be reversing. So in the latest comments, please put your altcoins and I will review them now, right now. So I'm gonna do DOT followed by Ethereum. And let's go with DOT. People are saying that we are reversing. Every time I get these comments, then I look at the price and really there's not much going on. We are at 87.7. Yeah, I want to go back above 90 and then I will say my entry was perfect and I knew. No, I don't know. I enter there because there is it shines as an opportunity better than other ones. There's plenty others that smell like crap. This one smells less than crap. That's why I'm entering there. Let's go back to TA, and I promised to do Ethereum. And what was the other one? DOT. I remember DOT was looking really bad. I'm on DOT. Okay. Oh, this is really weird. Poor people trading DOT. I mean, I'm a holder of DOT, and I'm holding it until my eyes are pleased with some decency to sell. I'm holding since the bear market, so I'm just gonna let it rally a little bit more. But if you are trading in here, this breakout, that's really disappointing because DOT was wanting to break out after testing the support of 3.7. It was done with this falling wedge and it produced a breakout there, and now it's getting a crash again. It's putting a low of 4.1. It hasn't taken the 3.7, and we are testing weekly support. So on DOT, I think this is a good value area for accumulation from the point of view of RSI. Longs versus shorts. Where were we when the shorts were at 35, even at a higher price? So now we have more longs and we are at a lower price, but we are at weekly support. We finally test that weekly support. So I think it's a great entry for accumulation 4.4, anywhere from 4.4 and even to 3.4 if we do a liquidity sweep there. All of that is a lot, definitely a lot better than anywhere in this range. The drawdown, 67%. So particularly if we get lucky, so if you enter in here with low volume, but then you do a sweep and a re-entry, then you can add more volume. Because if we reclaim this historical support, that calls for a trade back into $10. And I'm not even talking about the targets of the full bull market, the 1618 of the previous cycle or anything like that. that even talks about $16. And probably if I do the Fibonacci retracement on this, it's going to give us, I don't know, $150 possibly. But just trading this range, this crappy range, if we recover the 3.6 after pinching it, we can go back to 10. But I'm already allocated on DOT, so that is not my cup of tea. I won't put more risk on DOT. And Ethereum, I already did it. You just need to go back. I talk about this. I talk about the liquidations and all of that. We are still in this area in here where there's a lot of shorts. So I'm expecting something to happen in here. But on the weekly basis, we do really need to defend this trend line to not turn this into a fake out, because then we need to be looking for that 2000 potential. Right. Ethereum, I did. Sui sold. Okay. I'm going to do ADA and ENA. Starting with ADA. And then I need to go to the nursery. Wow. Crap. Okay. ADA lost or is in the process of losing weekly support at 46.6. Support is at 48. So we are 2 points below. Hopefully, Bitcoin bounces back up and it regains control. The longs need to step in here and reclaim. So we go above, I will say 49 on the weekly RSI will be nice. Then on the price action, we are still in the falling wedge. This line is invalid, needs to be moved here. We continue bleeding inside the falling wedge. This pinch that we went to 0.51, I guess people are going to be wondering, are we going there? Let's go to the long term. We got ADA. Yeah. Let's see the liquidations on ADA. And yeah, ADA is liquidating all the longs that enter in here. They enter at 0.8 and they were hoping for over a $1 thanks to watching other influencers. And then in here, 0.64, there is a peak that just went out. And below it, I don't see much more, but I need to remove the top. Let's remove that. Yeah, okay, so we took that. We have a bit at 47, but it's very small. And we have a bit at 27. Okay, so 48 and 27 has some liquidity, but we just took the big one. So taking that in consideration, I go back to the chart and I look up, are we in support? Is this a significant support that people will want to buy here? Well, it's the bottom of the falling wedge. So if price goes below and it reclaims the falling wedge, people are going to want to buy that. And when the price goes below the falling wedge, it liquidates the people. And if it liquidates and reclaims, it's bullish. It can still, fulfill this technical target. It's not out of the question. There are some other coins that are doing this. There are some other coins that have done that already. So we have to say ADA is holding and defending the falling wedge, but it needs to do a better job in here on reclaiming that weekly support. And let's go to ENA or INA. I don't know how to pronounce that. Never heard about this. Right. So somewhere in here is support. So we have support there. Not perfect, but yeah, more or less there. So those two are happy. Those two are happy. Those are semi-happy. And price seems to be going to 34 cents. That's where is the next support. This is a weekly chart. Oh my God. Double top. And the double top went way beyond that. So it has fulfilled already the target, but it carries on bleeding. There is some rolling over in here. So it's definitely slowing down as it's approaching the 34 cents. And this line is, who put this line? I put lines like crap. Maybe I did the daily. Okay. Yeah, I did the daily. So on the daily, we have a setup here. Okay, good. This is a great setup. That's the rolling over that I was talking about. You can see that comes faster doing long lines, and then it starts doing smaller lines. And every time it pinches less. That is the slowdown. And then we have a higher low and a challenge of 39 RSI on the daily. So monitor this, guys, for a breakout in here, particularly if Bitcoin starts pushing back up. Pay attention to the cross-V ratio is in the green. That's on the daily time frame. Great. Pay attention to the longs that got crushed in here. Good. RSI up. Support there at 30 something. It is looking good. It is looking good. And if I'm wrong, and if I lose that level, and we cannot hold it, and we actually break the 34, well, you get your answer. You have the lowest price of this coin, which is 20 cents. So I will say, enter with some liquidity in here if you want to enter. And if the market really continues dragging, leave some for below the 20 cents in case we sweep that and then carry on higher, because this happened in September. So there must be some long-term liquidity. You need to smell it. Okay. This pump, there are there is risk there, and price could come here. And if Bitcoin starts pumping and all coins do well, then you go up from there. But if we don't, then this could go there and get the liquidity from those dudes and then rally in a different way. So I think it's a value area for ENA. Good call. Let's do XRP. We cannot miss XRP, TRX, and then OM. XRP. I'm so glad that sold this. I feel such a relief every time I see this chart. We got, yeah, we are in my area of value, by the way. We are testing support at 2.2. I left this a while ago. I say, what if we go here and we test this? And then if we break out from there and we carry on. Right now, we are doing this. And I think Paul Barron told me that he's going to probably assist to a conference of XRP. And there's so many XRP people in the army. So that's a reason to be bullish, because they really have high expectations. But for me, it's bullish to trade it, to trade that hopium, that thing that is going to come. Anyways, I that is tradable. That 2.2 is to add in a position in here because it's weekly support. Areas of concern is that there is too many of them still. This is too high. They are still there. They haven't been punished in the way they deserve it. So if you enter with that, you are entering assuming that this collapse in the price of Bitcoin, 20% pullback, is going to stop here. Because if it continues, it's going to enter in the area below weekly support and it's going to start smashing. How many people? All these people that are at 51. From 69, we have crashed to 51. But XRP sells off in a big way. Big, 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 big. And I don't think that's going to change ever. Okay, so this could rally more. Sure, take the rally. But this is where you're entering in terms of longs. XRP, when it crashes, it takes the longs like this. Okay, look at that. Like this. And you don't get any announcement. No one tells you, hey, by the way, exit XRP. No, all the way to 8. So the technical support, it is here, and you can rally all this way there. You could take that trade on the weekly support and hope that this is going to carry on higher and get to the 3.4, and then, no, 4.4 is my next target, technical target from Fibonacci extensions. But I just cannot stomach this risk. The risk of what? The risk of XRP giving me the same thing again. I know it. XRP, then I say, sorry, this is going so fast. TRX. TRX. I also don't like the shape of this. This is already looking distributive to me. You know, higher highs, lower highs, testing the final support. No, too bad. TRX, USDT. Oh gosh, okay. Another one, just like ADA, is doing the same. So all coins that have been performing well and been respecting levels of support are now breaking those levels. Hopefully, Bitcoin is gonna do a dead cat bounce to take us out of this place, because TRX has been performing pretty good. So that is below the support. We need to respect it. We already broke out from the flag, and in here I call out for the rolling over. We haven't taken the low of closing price of 22, neither the low of 20. If Bitcoin carries on coming lower, expect a little bit more of bleeding, but there's a lot of people that are bullish on this, and I think with this resetting here at 54, with this low at 49, we're getting very close of too many shorts in here. And remember, I left this line in here. So between the yellow and the white, somewhere in here, there could be a great area of value for TRX. And the next is OM, USDT, and OM on the weekly. Okay, let's remove that. Wow, what a performance. Look at this. It's all the time at the top of the cross variation. It's rarely that you see a coin holding more or less from January 2024, a full year at the highs, with the exception of, September, which is always bad, but it's still incredible performance. OM broke out in here in November. It put a high of 89 and then a high of 87. So that is a bearish divergence there. Not all bearish divergence need to correct, okay? It's good to know and be aware that they are there. And this rally is connected with this pivot. Notice that there was a fake out there to the downside. And that is thanks to OM being so bullish. I see bullishness when you lose a level, but then you regain it, and you still put a high. That is super bullish. That, I don't know for how long the coin is going to remain that bullish, but now this is your support. So if this needs to reset and test weekly support, it needs to go to 70. Look, we are selling off. We are talking about a coin that resets at 70. So we are now at 76, 77, and we're going to 70 on a really crappy week. That is bullish. So the reset is at around $7 on the weekly. So hopefully that $7 holds so the rally can continue. Take a little bit out of the coin in terms of bullishness, because we have on our back now a bearish weekly divergence. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, on the daily there's a lot of longs. They are in the process of being punished, and on the weekly, pretty high, 85. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you already missed too much the train. You don't need me to tell you that, right? This is a parabolic move. Incredible. Uh, yeah, you need to start reducing and re-adding at levels of support and taking a bit of care of this, if not possibly closing in here. Tough one. I don't like to be in a parabolic move. It makes me stress more than the crash, the parabolic move, because then you're all the time thinking, am I going to take profits in here at $9? and then it could go to $20, and then you miss that. It is tough. You have to also, let's see if past performance. Gosh, in this chart is so difficult to do things. No, I wouldn't do Fibonacci extensions in here, but maybe counting the waves could work. It's gonna take me a hell of a lot of time. Let's leave it. Let's leave OM there. And this is gonna be my last coin, guys. I really need to go and pick up my daughter from the nursery. I hope you appreciate the live stream. It was above 1 hour. Likes, comments, all the noise that you can do really helps the channel. My throat survived, so I'm happy. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Thanks so much for watching the whole stream. How many people?